afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero of Strike, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on the Holotny Femna Winter. Between the west, we got to Bezelton, King of the Berries from Australia. Fighting here for the Oberkommando West here for the 56th Volksgrenadier Division, with fortification immediately chosen with King Tiger and Bezelton Bulletins versus in the east. We got Treaser from Holland, I think. Fighting here for the Soviet Union with Soviet Industry taking on the role here of the 27th Tank Corps with triple infantry bulletins there. So we got both players immediately choosing a doctrine and thus indicating that you got a strategy. We got Sturm Pioneers, Kuhlwagen, and Fulk goes down the way for Bezelton. As for Treaser, it's a bunch of conscripts here to start off with. We got the Sturm Pioneers for the centre, quickly laying down the wire here, trying to reinforce the centre for any Russian assaults. Treaser here taking a bit more casually, allowing his men to warm up a bit here. And in the south here, just conscripts moving down as well. We got the second conscript squad out there. Kuhlwagen looks like it'll head northwards after going to the point here close to the base. Head for the fuel. Centre secure there almost by the Sturm Pioneer. And the engineers sitting southwards towards the fuel point. Conscripts moving ahead. Conscripts moving ahead there as well. We got barbed wire there tonight cover in case someone tries to grab the point there. Otherwise they can sort of stand about there while being in heavy cover. So quick wire there. Sturm Pioneers sitting southwards, Kuhlwagen northwards with full Grenadiers in support. Conscripts they might head for the northern compartment, in which case they're going to run into a bit of German resistance. Achtung, Ivan, fire frei, and there we go, rushing front. You only want to sort of try and if you're sort of the western player secure this compartment first. Otherwise your opponent can occupy the house here and turn it against you. It's sort of one of the ways that Western Holotny Femna can be a bit of a bastard. It's a lot easier you just frustrate your opponent's western resource here compared to in the south. But there's just not that house to sort of just hang about there. It's a lot easier to sort of just defend and sort of keep this area clear compared to the north. So in that regard, there's a bit of a huge difference between the north and south in this map. But there you go, conscripts hanging about there. He's going to need incendiary grenades or something else to sort of clear them out. Otherwise, it's going to drop a lot of resources there from Bezelton in the early game. More folks that are arriving for him, and the 56th Volksgrenadier Division. More engineers there arriving for Treaser, so 3 conscripts, 2 engineers. Further pressure in the south. Going up here to engage the conscripts from several points, from the south, from the north. That way trying to spread out the amount of fire they can get down here on Bezelton's men. They need to be careful they're not set up there, right in front of that close range. I mean, they do get a bit of light cover. The problem is they're going to be bloody close here. Folks coming from the other side. Kuhlwagen might want to help. This is still, I think, a bit of a risky engagement overall. I mean, he's got a lot of troops firing at it. The problem is his opponent's on heavy cover. In this case, he can also reinforce it. And in this case, this quickly turns ugly for Bezelton and advantageous for Treaser. Comes there being under fire. And that's generally sort of where the whole garrison concept can run this sort of few awkward problems, because it can be so easy just to rush ahead, secure a house, and then just sort of use it as a pressure point against your opponent. It's not easy for them to clear it out in some cases, like for some of the Oberkommando West. You need to tag up for the incendiary grenades, and that's a lot of resources just to be able to deal with that. Of course, he could just try and avoid it, but then of course leaves his fuel point exposed, so it's not quite the sort of ideal situation. The south though gets a conscript squad, so that's a victory there for Bezelton. Makes up though for the loss of the Volksgrenadiers. Almost, the Volksgrenadiers are still expensive, and also means he can't quite defend his fuel point. So, but there you go, grabbing a cut-off point here. So he's returning the favour that might force them. Treaser to have to respond to that. So that's a better move there, I think, by Bezelton. Instead of just trying to spend a lot of men here, he's just trying to apply more resources here, trying to force his opponent to react to him and then attack into Bezelton instead of Bezelton attacking into some fortified positions. Mine there, by the way, I think would be good there for him. More folks on the way, and we got more conscripts there for Treaser and the 27th Tank Corps, who's now going straight for the fuel point there as well, going for the jugular. We got more folks there slowly arriving. He needs all to take up soon. Of course, once he's got some points up, he could consider, for example, laying down some S-mines using his full Grenadiers, or some machine gun bunkers, or anything like that. But he's heading the fuel point here as well. Got the munitions there. Needs to deal with engineers here with the jump vests moving up. Alright, Otto, you take surveillance, right? Right. Kuhlwagen moving in there as well, doing a bit of damage. Kuhlwagen going into repairs, fuel point there being lost, but again, just a bit of work around here. Folks just quickly lay down some sandbags here to help them defend a bit better. That's an awful lot of barbed wire there, by the way, from Treaser. An awful lot of it. It's a bit of bang forth here between these two players. We've got the Kuhlwagen being repaired up north here. Folks is pushing ahead here. Engineers tank from the south. Conscript taking man loss here as the Folks going to disadvance. It's a fast land. Kuhlwagen almost good to go. Shots fired here. Folks has almost got the fuel point there for the fatherland. Conscript not doing too well out in the open. And there we go. Good job there for Bezelton. He's actually got it connected here as well. So has Treaser here in the northern one. They're taking losses, folks, dealing with troops here and there. Nice little attempt at getting behind Bezelton's forces here. Almost works out. Need to get the forces up there for him though. Almost got the country there. That could be a wipe. That could be a wipe. But otherwise, Bezelton going most of the south. They've got a truck out there for Bezelton and the 56th Fult's going to do shown. Fult's need some support here. They need to retreat. Need to get help from the other Fult's going to do something else. But so far, none of that. Some victory points secured. Kuban could do a bit more there, I think, for Bezelton. And he lost another Fult's going to do squad. A bit awkward there for Bezelton. That is 2 Fult's squads down. He's not quite got, say, similarly 2 country squads down. So that's rather good there for Treaser in the early game. Rather good. He's gone for support from Company. We got more forces there for Bezelton. He also got the battle group headquarters going up there. You should definitely consider some assault rifles here and there once that hits. Flank the countries here with the Kugelwagen or something else. Still, he's maintaining a hold here in the south, which is definitely good there for Bezelton. We got a fuel cache going after the Treaser, so he's clearly got some kind of long-term plan. That's good to see, and that's also certainly some way you can actually get an advantage of the Oberkommand West, which can't build caches at all. So that way, resource-wise, he can raise a hit there for Bezelton if he's clever about it. But also help offset, you know, the fuel control. Currently, Bezelton's exerting over the fuel points. They're also linked up with a lot of sandbags. This time about to better defend. Continues hanging about here. We got more attacks here. Country fighting forwards. Battle group headquarters up. Not quite yet. We got the Kugelwagen support though. Flanking here the conscripts. Good work. Good work. No Molotovs here though. For example, from Treaser makes it easier for Bezelton to defend, since you know he can't deny cover. So that rather is working out there for Bezelton, and the 56th Fult's going to be shown. Task of holding the area, no matter the cost, for the Reich and its safety. In the south there, point almost secured as well. So right now, Bezelton has managed to swing around a rather awkward start into most of the map here. Those having nonetheless suffered heavy losses. We've got an MG34 on the way there for Bezelton. He should definitely, I think, consider some assault rifles against Sturmgewehrs would do him a lot of good. Quick retreat here. Sturmpine is standing about down there. He could also just lay down some mines. Mines would also work quite well. Still, battle group headquarters up there for the 56th. And back here, conscripts moving out. We've got nothing further here from him. He's just sticking to 3 conscript squads and 2 engineers. We've got no support weapons as of yet. But we do have a bigger push into the south. And sadly, there isn't prepared defense here to make it easier for Bezelton to defend from beyond that. So that's going to be easy or harder to take back for him, though easier to defend for Treaser. Treaser pushed back. Still overall, I mean, in terms of the strategy, he's actually worked out quite nice because he's drawn a lot of resources towards the south there, allowing him to regain the north without much fighting. So in that regard, you know, one way of basically taking territory is try to take something else. Your opponent wants to hold, force him to withdraw then, and then you can sort of more easily take the rest there. So I mean, overall, nice texture there should have come up again from, I would say, awkward start. There's secured more sandbags. We got a light infantry on the way there for him. MG34 covering the centre. Though I think he'd be better off supporting his frontline troops with it, you know, a bit more actively able to engage his opponent. They're going to just push back with heavier losses. Up north here, we got conscript versus Fult's Grenadiere. Neither plays yet to use a doctrine, and again, both the sort of more later ones, though right now Bezelton can either lay down trenches, flag placements, or tank traps, or for that matter, bunkers and S-mines. And certainly some S-mines could be quite, I think, potent there. A machine gun bunker wouldn't be a half-bad choice either for Bezelton. We do have some regular mines going down, though, from both sides around the centre. Sealing reinforcing, got nothing. Oh, they do have some assault rifles there. We go attacking north, deal with the conscripts. So far, we also got a tiny lead there for Bezelton over Treaser. Nothing further here though. Treaser could consider taking ahead. He could also consider calling in some allied supply drops, supplying Brazil with fuel, and immediately does so. In fact, one of many ways the Western Allies supplied the Soviets. Apparently, there were actually some aircraft Western Allies actually used, for example, during the fighting on Moscow. There were several American aircraft actually utilized by some squadrons to defend Moscow. Fun fact there. Important there being secured. Forces standing about there. Might want to counterattack north of southwards there. Got a mortar on the way there for Treaser and the 27th Tank Corps. Conscripts being reinforced, healed here. Forces getting ready. Healing here going on. Bezelton could consider taking up now. Prepare for a Schwerpanzer quarters. Maybe go ahead to some of those Obersoldaten. Achtung. There we go, focusing him with engineers, the Sturmgewehrs. They did suffer loss there. Ludwig stumbled over dead. Ludwig, aim properly. Ah, scheiße, he's dead. Otto, aim properly. You just called me Ludwig, didn't you? Maybe. More mines here. He's definitely playing ahead there for any attacks from his opponent. Though again, he's yet to actually use anything doctrine. Again, for someone going fortifications this early on, he should try and make better use of it. I mean, it's always a bit weird, if they're going for something like this and then they don't actually try to actively utilize it. I mean, a few trenches, for example, against an opponent who doesn't use Molotovs is great. S-mines, great. Machine gun bunkers, great. Flak emplacements, still rubbish. Hopefully one day the Balance preview mod chaps will get around to actually making that one, useful. One day. Possibly the same day the Wehrmacht Panther Act becomes a good choice instead of an average choice for a huge resource cost. You got constant in engineers as well. They need to pop an Incendiator to deny them cover. Again, this is where Incendiator will just are great. And why do you think Treaser committed a mistake in not getting any Molotovs himself? But there you go, good defense here by Bezelton. Good sandbagging over there, pushing back a significantly larger force. We've got more fuel drops here. Treaser's only pushing it as fast as he can there before his opponent can lock down the skies. Very good work there. Mechanized armor company up as well to can rush out some tanks. Also good work there by Treaser. I mean, both players to an extent do seem to have a plan, but so far I kind of feel like Treaser's strategic plan, while he's struggling a bit tactically, is overworking better than Bezelton again, who's gone for something, but he's just not utilizing it. Again, you could easily, for example, make it a lot harder for Treaser to get back his points with S-mines and machine gun bunkers. I mean, imagine, say, previously taking this point down here and then lay down a machine gun bunker to defend it. That would have been a huge problem for Treaser. That would have been a huge problem. So there's, I think, some kind of thoughts there for Bezelton down the road. But otherwise, we've got troops reinforcing. Need to get a bit healed up by the Battle Group headquarters. We got a mortar there doing a bit what it can as well here for the motherland. Noting that Treaser has also mined down there. So, I mean, both players are mining out there. Just that so far, Bezelton has done a bit more than his opponent. But overall, Bezelton here controlling most of the map versus Treaser. Controlling it strongly, though again, he could further fortify. Either with trenches, that would actually be just a low-cost measure, but machine gun bunkers, S-mounts, whatever we can do to make it harder for Treaser to attack back, I think would be really great there for Bezelton. But again, nothing there. You got a T-34 some 6 out there for Treaser and the 27th Tank Corps. That's going to give Bezelton actually a problem because he's got absolutely bugger all in the anti-tank department. I don't think he's expecting his opponent to try, no matter what, rush ahead for tanks and showing you even without the fuel points, you can actually get out a tank reasonably well on time. I mean, 11 to 12 minutes for a medium tank is pretty good, and he did it just using a fuel cache and 2 supply drops. So while it in some sense been expensive, it actually allowed him to overcome the fuel disadvantage and actually hurt Bezelton, who's not prepared for it at all, plus got a wipe there and retreat. So he's actually suffered quite a few full screen losses. And that's actually a very, I think, solid move by Treaser there. Definitely speaks to a very determined player. Very determined player with a few backup plans. And thus able to keep up with this overall timetable of, getting out of T-34 reasonably fast. That's impressive, that's impressive. More to their flying away at the German positions here. 56th Volksgrenadier Division holding out as much as it can. Also, fun fact about Volksgrenadier divisions, or divisions, they actually didn't have a lot of anti-tank guns, if any. In fact, their anti-tank battalions were actually replaced by, that is anti-tank guns specifically replaced with Panzerschrecks. So basically meant to have a lot of anti-tank teams with Panzerschrecks, which they weren't too keen on. They might have let a few, but overall, primarily they were supposed to rely on Panzerschrecks. And Panzerfaust, sort of as a fun fact there. We got Obersoldaten out here. Hardened veterans of a Volksgrenadier Division, remnants of a previously shattered Grenadier Division, who managed to survive and sort of, get part of the corps there. And then I imagine formed into a Sturmkompanie, which was what they would actually do. They'd sort of form a division of reserve. They'd sort of comb through the division and find the best men and put them together into a company, and that was sort of push forward. So there was also usually a Fusilier company, or occasionally even a Fusilier battalion, which was sort of also sort of unit there of the better kind. Fun fact there as well. I mean, there's only a lot of such. I'm just an infantry divisions organisation that tends not to get talked about. But there you go. Attempted mining, but quickly halted here by the Obersoldaten with LMD-34. Right, Fritz, I want some bleeding and screaming and dying. In that order? Well, if they're dying, they can't scream. I mean, they can bleed, but the screaming is important. It demoralizes the rest. Ah, of course. Exactly. And we actually got a Jagdpanzer here from Bezelton. Bit of a rare sight there. We got another T-34 for Treaser. Technically, those kind of Yak Panzers were pretty much only part of Panzer Brigades or Panzer Divisions. I do not believe they were organised into independent battalions, sort of attached to, say, Volksgrenadier Division. They would either had Stugs or Hetzers, by the way, sort of attached to them in their tank destroyer company, about 13 of them. So technically, of course, there were assault guns. They were just, you know, something they can do to give them a bit more firepower. Thus, they help them a bit offensively, but also defensively. North, the 8 point's been grabbed. Obviously, I'm standing about. Gunsk's pushing ahead there. Malta as well. But there you go, Yak Panzer out with its high velocity 75mm gun. We got Contra being suppressed by the MU-34. Contra flanking against sandbags. I mean, he's actually, in other ways, they're being rather thorough with his defense. He's laying down a lot of sandbags and the likes. It's just, despite having gone for a defensive doctrine, he's not really utilizing it. And he's also could lay down booby traps with his orbital done. So while in some ways, he's actually, again, I think, sort of a rather sort of interesting defensive player, he's clearly not utilizing the full tool set given to him, which I do think is a bit, you know, weak. T-34 lands a good hit against the Volksgrenadiers. He's also got a repair station up, so already here Treaser's just, you know, preparing ahead of time, you know, rather than wait for the tanks to need repairs, then building it. He actually ensures that by the time repairs are needed, he's actually guarded. So that's some good foresight there, I think, by Treaser. Stuart piling up behind the conscripts. Forces could try and move in from the north to support them, but instead it doesn't. More pressure up here. We got the engineers tagging into the orbital garden. That is pretty much a forlorn assault there, forlorn hope. Quickly getting gunned down there. And of course, Treaser wasn't expecting this, so he just forgets about them and gets them horribly murdered. Good thing in this case, he's probably heading earlier than a booby trap that could actually hurt some of the orbital arms. Still, booby traps would be a really good idea here. Tank to tank from the south here. Yak Panzer moving down, gets a good hit there with its high velocity 75mm gun there. Penetrates the armour. Doesn't further pursue. And the Kubelwagen hits a mine. Sort of very casually. I'm surprised he hasn't gone for any mine spreaders at this point, even at Panzerschreck. He's actually flown quite a few munitions there. Not quite doing much with it. Bit inert, allowing here Treaser to gain back a lot of the map. He's only got, not a lot though, so I mean Treaser does need to be a lot more active here. Bezelton floating a bit on manpower there, could consider doing something with it. More to them being slightly further north to support a push there. And we got here something on the way. The manpower being spent, we got the T-50 running north, we've got the opposite thing back, they're going to go pushed out. Can't help but feel that Bezelton is back to getting a bit too defensive, a bit too passive. Which actually makes him a much easier target in some ways, because again, ultimately, then Treaser knows where what is. In this case, of course, it also means that Bezelton isn't preparing ahead, that he's not trying to figure out what his opponent might be doing. In this case, though, for example, there's nothing in the anti-tank department to cover the entire northern half. So in that regard, Treaser, of course, also doing another good thing, which is not just bashing in his head on the same point all the time. He's constantly shifting the momentum, the main point they've attacked, thus leaving Bezelton more to guess. But so far, Bezelton isn't even guessing, he's just assuming he's just going to do what every other one else is doing. It's just, you know, bash the head in until they pass out from a concussion or severe fatal brain trauma. Another T-54 out there for Treaser. He's going for a pack 43 here, covering the center. I guess that's nice, but you know, doesn't help covering the rest of the map. He still needs, I think, to get more active there versus Treaser. They're being pushed back. We got one T-54 finding Salfords, others here back for repairs by the repair station. Be a demo charge. That's going to be a wipe there for Bezelton. That's another Fox going to just get annihilated. Blew up only the engineer's cabin. I think also killed Sergei. What's the nature? They're going to go up. They're going to go up. Ah, Scheiße. On Jürgen. Yak Panzer moving down again. We can see now Bezelton is doing a lot of ground again. Here, Rule got too defensive. Again, you don't want to get too comfortable. You want to prepare. You want to dig ahead. So you're just sort of not planning to move ahead. Dig down, you know, prepare further defences, trenches, sandbags, bunkers, machine guns, mines, whatever. And that's rather here what Bezelton did not. He just assumed everything would be nice and hunky-dory, which is generally, you know, the awkward approach and not very good defensively.
Another vehicle has been lost in the defense of the Rodina.
So rather with this, Treaser's been able to exploit here Bezelton's laxity and push forwards for the motherland here. Tanks speeding ahead all over the place. Made a mine there, took a few losses. going for the fuel point as well. And attacking straight into the pack for the fleet. He probably wasn't expecting that one. Could expect at least one armoured loss here. Yak Panzer gets a good hit. There you go, one T-54 knocked out here by the pack for the fleet, which actually existed a field gun version, which thus they could also fire artillery. In fact, as the war progressed, at a certain point, I think it was 1944, the Germans actually introduced a field gun version of the Pak 40 to use as artillery as well. Probably in response to what the Surds had. In fact, they tried to cover the Surd artillery structure and create the Volksartillerie, which is sort of a mix of just artillery things you could just fire into the mass. Problem is, the Germans just couldn't really, get off the same amount of, artillery pieces. There you go, wipe here, a mortar crew. Small victory there for Bezelton. He's got a Panzer IV on the way there. Glad Panzer Corps being repaired. Clear up the field gun there. We got a T-34 moving in again, though. Treaser suffered some arson losses there. He clearly did not anticipate the Pak 43 there. The second biggest anti-tank gun the Germans had. The biggest one being the Pak 44, which was obviously the same gun as the Yak Tiger had. Rushing for the mortar there, a bit risky there, bit risky. Field gun shoots, fails to penetrate the Yak Panzer's 80mm of sloped armour. Also moving up, might try and grab the mortar. There we go, right under Treaser's nose. Sneaky bastard.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
Sneaky bastard. We got the Yak Panzer back in action though. Also Panzer IV out here now to support the Volkskanadier Division. Guessing elements of the 20th Panzer Division here supporting. Panzer IV moving ahead. Yak Panzer needs to get away there. Taking a lot of shots needlessly, I think, from the vehicle. But there you go, we got the Panzer IV striking up behind. Gets a few good hits. Almost wiped there, almost. Then destroy it and deny it to Treaser. And the 27th Tank Corps, we got another T-55 here for Treaser. No tank destroyed yet or anything like that. Panzer I needs to be careful here though. He's pushing ahead there without infantry support. There you go, he gets the field gun, but has to retreat nonetheless. He's still no attempt at retaking the northern point. By the way, he should prove that. He should also, I think, consider some more Oberstladen possible. But the mortar will, I think, help him a bit. That certainly gives Bezelton here the artillery advantage over Treaser. Because not only does he have the light infantry gun, he has a mortar here to support him. That's what needs to fall back. Needs to fall back. Careful. Ah! Main gun destroyed. Bezelton, yep. Lighter. Knocked out. That was really unnecessary there by Bezelton. That was absolutely unnecessary. That was basically just a waste of a good Panzer IV there by Bezelton. In the south, the MG34 crowned the victory point there, and we got more troops moving in. Another fuel drop there for Treaser. Still has his conscripts here, heavy fire raining out from the windows against the Russians outside. Back here, repairs done, more fuel dropping in. He can soon go for another tank, but in theory trying to aim for the KV2. Maybe tank got the T-54 engaging Sturmpanzer, need to retreat, Bezelton, schnell, Rückzug. In the south, MG34 being outmaneuvered by the engineers, good work there by Treaser. Work. Need to retreat the MG34 to no longer match, so no mid-game analysis. He's going from Oberstladen there, that is good. That is good, but he's still not counter-tank to retake the field. He's going for the south and the north actually now. Volkskanadier is here, Oberstladen here. Eventually 2 gained. Bad news for any rations they encounter. Almost got a wipe. The engineers could be next here. Still got munitions and still, I mean, he's used the Pak 3 now, but overall he still hasn't utilized his doctrines. So in that regard, increasingly his early doctrinal choice is, increasing striking is a bit weird and, awkward. Again, you don't choose a doctrine right away, but then actually intend to use it. Again, trenches can be useful if your opponent doesn't use Molotovs. S-mines can always be useful. Bunkers can always be useful to sort of set up properly. So in that regard, I do feel like Bezelton has dropped the ball here a bit. But there you go, second orbital squad out there for Bezelton and the 56th Volkskanadier Division. Need to retreat the Oberstladen here though before they get knocked up. But there you go, Yak Panzer to the rescue with his high velocity gun. Constant moving up, they need to be careful, Forsict. The Russians out in the open, their next recover are easy targets for these hardened men. Murders them! I want them all dead! North point being grabbed, the Oberstladen going in here. Not upgraded though. Be sure to get them the light machine gun there, Bezelton.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Yeah, Panzer moving out again to support the Oberstladen, though they're dropping out. They're on men, need to be careful with that. Need to retreat, Rückzug. Rückzug. Oh, did he move the Outpanzer close there? Halfway to victory. Too big shame to lose it now, but gets out of there. Treaser did not. Actually, he hasn't even researched anti-tank grenades. That's actually a bit of a blunder. North attacking from the T-34s. At this point, he's not trying to commit all of them in one spot. He's just sort of trying to control the map, or sort of just make himself a bit more fluid, make it harder there for Bezelton to lock him down. Get a superior anti-tank options in a sense. And that would just sort of be able to rapidly hit different points at the same time. It's a bit more risky though. If Treaser can keep it up though, might have a good chance. There you go. Yakpanzer gets a good hit with its high velocity gun, penetrating the frontal armour. Treaser is clearly aiming for the KV2 heavy tank now. Clearly.
Stand ready, Kamerad.
Prepare to execute. Yes, comrade.
Moments away from the KV2. Well, you know, back in 1941-40 and all that was, you know, as a heavy tank. By 1944-45, the armour was close attack to a medium tank. They had sort of around, I think, 70-80 millimeters, which some people recognise as about the same level of armour as a Panzer IV. So while game-wise, it sort of represents a heavy tank in terms of armour thickness. In reality, it wouldn't have been very heavily armoured here by this point of the war. But, you know, how the Comet is also rated as a heavy tank, though it actually had 70 millimeters of armour as well, which is less than the Panzer IV, and it wasn't sloped. There you go, constantly pushed back here. And you don't see them armouring the Panzer IV like, you know, KV2 or Comet. I mean, if they did, you know, the Panzer IV would probably be a lot more popular. Jagdpanzer shoots there, failed to penetrate the KV2 side armour there. So definitely the Jagdpanzer's gun there would have no problems with the KV2's gun. No problems. Almost 22, there we go. Misses though. Scheiße, fits. Reload, reload. I don't want to get blown up as that scene. Keep it hostile in the south. So again, he's, you know, trying to operate tanks at sort of spots at the time and again makes it harder for Bezelton to, you know, keep track of it. In that regard, you know, he's handling his armour with some agility and also his infantry. So in that regard, Treaser's not just relying on raw force against his opponent. I mean, he could try and get another mortar. In fact, he has, but then lay down the smoke screen on the Pack 43, then rush it. At the same time, the mines is going to make it difficult. But basically, the Pack 43 can't fire from smoke. He'd have to attack ground, which would give more time to actually close in on it and then knock it out. So there's an option there for Treaser to consider versus Bezelton and the 56th Full Grenadier Division. Max following up there for Treaser. Bit of mortar fire all over the place. We've got Orbison engaging the mortar crew. Close to getting it there. Oh dear, he could wipe it, he like the will. No, no, gets away, gets away. Close there for Treaser, very close. Got the KV2 turning about, shoots, and almost wipes the Orbison down there with his 152mm gun. T-54's rolling head up here. We've got constantly being suppressed by the Schwerpanzer quarters. Mortar fire also plenty there, constantly northwards as well. Overall, Treaser's got some good map control versus Bezelton. But again, I do feel to an extent that's because Bezelton isn't being as aggressive as he could. He can go for another Panzer IV, but at this point he of course might just decide to go for a Panther to help deal with the KV2. Of course, he could also be saving up for the King Tiger, so he does have a bulletin for that one. Betching the free orbs on the engaging conscripts, sending them running, scurrying away. Defense are going to take northwards to support here the Russians. Jagdpanzer needs to set about here to open up. Uns them, blows them to hell. Tanks get away though. He's doing his best to make use of the CoH2's movement to sort of sneak up on them. And of course, in the actuality, I mean, the Jagdpanzer had a very low profile, so which made it pretty difficult to spot though. It wasn't quite as small as, say, the Hetzer, which was really difficult to spot, and overall also quite effective because it could then set up very good ambushes. And again, quickly detaching his tanks from elsewhere. He's overall making it very difficult there for Bezelton to sort of coordinate an effective defence. We now got a howitzer up, so he's going for more artillery support here from the Doctrine. But actually means he has a lot of these. Now has a mortar, light infantry gun, and a howitzer. Can't help but feel this might be a bit overkill in the artillery department. He still has to worry about the armour of his opponent. And the pack for the fleet is only giving him a safe spot. It's not actually helping him control the rest of the map at the victory point he needs to control. I mean, right now his opponent is slowly cutting away at Bezelton's lead. So that is something that Bezelton needs to keep in mind. In the south here, a bit of cover up. We got tanks hitting perhaps for some bigger assault. There's some grand attack by Treaser.
We are losing territory. Crew ready.
Still a lot of munitions floated by Bezelton, and still he could lay down some booby traps. I do feel like that's one thing he's actually neglected quite a bit. And again, I just found it. Again, he goes to fortification to play defensively, but he doesn't use a lot of it, nor does he use one of the more excellent options, which again is booby traps. So in that regard, you know, there's, I think, room for Bezelton to improve upon his strategy, because I think there's something to it. It's just he's not utilising it to the much as great extent as he could, and he also needs to be a bit more active at times. Again, he's just sort of sitting back there, which is generally not the best idea to the Wehrmacht and the Oberkommando West. Even if you want to play defensively, you have to be active at times. You have to counterattack, you have to expand. You just, you know, try and crush your opponents really much there on when they actually are trying to attack you. The south of retreat here, no support. Got another push being prepared in the north there, though. This time, though, Bezelton seems ready for it. Or does he take the bait and move the Jagdpanzer southwards? Jagdpanzer there, getting off. Oh, K2 getting some hits. There you go. T-Fed forces hacking, taking fire there from the Jagdpanzer. Actually, they're going to move straight to the line of fire. The pack for the Finland touch. It's hoping there. It's going about losing one tank. He's going to lose it. He's going to lose it. No, gets away. Gets away. Does it? No, knocked out. And the Jagdpanzer gains eventually 2 Schützen added. And the South forces just need to retreat. They're going to get wiped out here. I don't think Bezelton's actually paying attention at this point. I do not think so. Need to retreat, Bezelton, Rückzug, schnell, those are veteran soldiers. He's pinned down here up north. We got Oberson hiding up here in the shed. There's the conscript there, needs support of some kind. He can actually go for the Panther now, but again, he seems to be playing for the King Tiger. He just needs the mechanized regiment to then open up for it, but he definitely needs to then make the move soon. In the meanwhile, Treaser going there for the issue 5 tanks for support.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Howitzer, by the way, is ready, but he's yet to utilise it. We've got more fuel drops then for Treaser and the 27th Tank Corps. Still no Molotov, so I'm not entirely sure how well this assault's going to work out there for him. In fact, we've got the Orbital Squad number 2 flanking in here. You should actually try and get behind first. You try and aim to cut off the retreat path. There you go, T-34 strikes, Jagdpanzer the nearby support. Moving ahead there, slowly through the snow. There you go, good hit with the Jagdpanzer. Getting caught between 2 Oberson squad. That is a very nasty crossfire to be caught in there by Treaser's men. They're going to be lost at this rate. They're going to get murdered. Wow. Are they actually make it? Oh, that was seriously lucky there by Treaser. Seriously lucky. Mortars here trying to silence Treaser's mortar. Howitzer also firing. He's actually firing everything at it. It looks like it. Talk about overkill. K2 moving upwards, Oberson pulling back. Jagdpanzer needs to get in there on that soon. Shot bounced again. Almost did so far penetrating. There you go, penetrating it. On the K2 moves ahead. They've got a Panther on the way. They're based on not aiming for the King Tower. There you go. We got H5 getting good hit in the Jagdpanzer. Jagdpanzer needs to pull back. Drop the cautious movement. Drop it. Both Oberson squad retreats here. Not good. They're not good. Schwerpanzer squad turning back. Pack 43 turning up support here as well. And he quickly pulls back there. There we go. Pack 43 gets an excellent hit. Gains 22. Jagdpanzer shoots. Oh, they could lose the H5. There you go. Terrifying hit there. Half H of veteran the 3 already. Right now he needs to assemble a counterattack force and retake the northern position there before it's too late. And he also needs to extend something into the south there. But that will probably be a bit easier once he gets out the Panther. Demo charge there. He's also got increased number of repair stations up there to help repair his armoured fleet. Yeah, definitely not a bad idea. Quickly allows the Station 5 to repair in a matter of seconds now. Same with the KB2. And the Panther's almost done there for Bezelton and the 56th Volkskanadier Division. More armoured support from the 20th Panzer Division. Almost, but he's a bit full pop cap there actually. Hitting the northern victory point again. Bezelton once more displaying not, I would say, fully efficient use of his doctrine. He's getting too focused in the centre there in terms of defence and not enough on the rest of the map. Or at least just the other victory point. We got more Sandbags in fact, and I should have gone more with in-depth defence there from Treaser in defending sort of the northern victory point. HD5 also waiting ready to blow up any fascist armour. Got the house getting ready to fire up, I think, north there. Shatter the rations. First shot misses. He might pull back there to the second line of defences. But one again, this is also where no more sandbags can actually about there. So it's basically more of an in-depth defence now here from Treaser. Those might consider some more sandbags there. We got the HD5 from the Jagdpanzer. Both miss each other. This time that hits, HD5 of them might get a hit through as well. There we go. Misses again. Penetrating it again. We got the Q2 moving up there. Chile there, almost in the counter position. They rush forwards instead now. K2 gets a good advantage into one. HD5 gets a hit as well there. All of a sudden moving up. We got booby traps on the fuel point. Finally, took him bloody long enough. Can't support those shooting, having taken a hit there from the howitzer. And he lost an orbital Darden squad. I think he actually got wiped here by the K2 was the T-54. Looks like the T-54 put an end to it, so I'm not sure what's trying to put it out there. But we got the Panther out now here for Biz. Got the Panther out. And also an issue here with all of these support is they actually drain a lot of his pop cap at the moment. Which actually means again he's got less resources being elsewhere on the map, so that's a bit risky as well here. And again, where he might have benefited at some point, you know, from just machine gun bangers and mines. But he's sending the Panther down south with the T-54. Needs to be careful. In fact, nice work there, but Treaser is actually baiting it into the field gun. In this case, Bezelton does not take the bait. But nice attempt there by Treaser. Nice attempt. Got a mechanized rating on the weather to help repair the Jagdpanzer, which is very close to Veteran 3. Actually been some time since I've seen a Jagdpanzer actually hit Veteran 3. Most of the time, most people only get them to Veteran 2 before getting them blown to bits. If they even get that far. Another aircraft shot down. Change to the base there. And actually looked like a Panzergray Sturmovik. Cancelled off the demo charge, then he can cover the Panther though. Careful with the Panther, Bezelton. Foresight. Field gun nearby, which we by the way almost used that tracking to just spotted from afar. Jagdpanzer fixed up, mechanized rating going up. Oh, something again without support there. Retreat, Rückzug. Panther pulling back as well here. Needs some repairs. Jagdpanzer creeping in, and we got an infrared half track now from Bezelton. An infrared half track. That's a rare sight. With a Katyusha on the way there for Treaser. Actually again raining down fire here on the northern position. Wipes the counter squad. Jagdpanzer gets hit in the issue 5. Almost 53 there, almost. There we go. Veteran 3, increased rate of fire amongst other things. Plus mobility. That's actually bad news for the issue 5. Now the Jagdpanzer is definitely an advantage. There we go. Gets issue 5. Abandoned there. The crew is dead. Knocks it out fully. We've got the K2 moving up. Need to cover the Jagdpanzer nonetheless. There we go. Takes it from the issue KV2. And there you go. Penetrating hit there. Almost Veteran 4 ready, which means an even higher rate of fire. Damage engine. Veteran 4 they gained actually. Veteran 4. Keep shooting, Fritz. Keep shooting. Reload. Almost got the KV2 there with the Jagdpanzers now a high rate of fire. Got the Panther moving northwards, infantry half-tech supporting, needs some infantry support up there though, and that's rather what Bezelton has been lacking at the moment there, that is infantry. Damage engine and both armoured vehicles now, but Treaser has suffered a bit in terms of armoured losses, but still he's controlling most of the map. In fact, he's got all 3 victory points. Bezelton really needs to get more active there, he needs to be pushing more against his opponent. Again, he's increasingly feeling like he's a bit too passive there. Not want to pull back towards there to get them fixed up, I suppose. Issue 5 there, slowly on the way for Treaser and the 27th Tank Corps. Closing in eventually free down the Pilfered Mortar. Another howitzer barrage here. I think he's trying to catch the Katyusha there. We go. Shot bounced. Just failed to do much damage. In for a half second before we miss, more likely. Yak Panther going back for repairs. Panther being repaired here by the front. And we got the interesting Salford, but again with no armoured support. Bezelton. At this point you might want to learn a bit. Hits a mine. Need to retreat there. And how about just securing this centre one and the northern one, which have put more effort into defending compared to your opponent. Then I got hit. Bezelton's increasingly making a lot of mistakes there. He's, I think, increasingly feeling pressure there by Treaser. It's rather making it easier for Treaser actually the way he's doing it. And again, he's not putting effort into the points. He's sort of again had easier time holding. He's just now beginning to pour more resources into the south, but even then not well supporting it. In fact, he's sending a machine gun now completely unattended. Panther looks like he might move down there. Steel Empire's up here. Need to get some more armor support up north, including the Yak Panther. Mach schnell. KV2 moving up. We got the MG34 versus Maximum field gun. We got a T34 down there. Panther moving down to support. Yak Panther making swift progress. There you go. KV2 firing at the Steel Empire. Needs to retreat. Needs to retreat. Surprised by sort of covering here when there's not really much that can move through there, and again we should be more concerned with the north, that's actually moving in men. So in that regard, again, a bit of mistake there by Bezelton, bit of mistake. Shoots, misses, Panther falling the way there for Bezelton. In the south, Panther needs to be careful, coming far from the field gun, T-34 flanking, MG34 needs to retreat soon. Shoot out there, shot bounced. Penetrating it from the field gun, Betchy 2 needs to be careful. The Panther Bezelton needs to be careful. 4-6, Scheisse! Get out of there! And the MB34 also needs to retreat. There we go. Was almost wiped there if it had been pushed into the mine by Bezelton's own Panther, which would then damage his engine, meaning that would also have been lost there. So that's a very high risk move there. Unknown, of course. He did not know there was a mine there, but Bezelton, I think, could do a bit more of a solid work. Then again, he's to focus on the points closer to him and not so well defended by his opponent. I mean, that is prioritise. Panther almost done. Northern point being lost. I mean, I think also just going for both Pack 43 and Howards is a bit much there. I think if you'd gone for either one, both again just draws up so much population there from him, meaning he can't get enough infantry, enough armour. Making it a lot harder here for Bezelton to do anything. And again, he's not really pushing towards them. I'm not entirely sure what Bezelton at this point is imagining if he's just sort of broken down at this point, because again, he's made some good moves. It's just at this point he just seems to have stopped making moves. It's like he's not sure what to do. He's feeling pressured. It's just sort of resorting to inactivity or something. Panther strikes against the conscripts. He got a wipe on the mortar again. In fact, looks like he utterly annihilated. Panther almost being annihilated in return as well. So a few lords there piling up for Treaser again. But not the victory points. There we go. Got a wipe. Got a wipe. Again, conscript units stuck in around the north. Panther moving in with Steel Empire. Swarms are not fully reinforced. Down the centre, mortar there stolen. Oh, he's moving ahead the mortar too far. I think that's a misplay there. Misclick by Bezelton up north here. Panther shakes ahead. Needs support from the Yak Panzer. Needs support. Schnell. Need to get the mortar back there. Church collapsed. Another loss for Treaser. He's actually getting really short on troops here. He's got the Panther fort as well here. Bezelton. Mach schnell. Achtung Panzer. KV2 moving ahead there. Yak Panzer opens up. Panther opens up as well there. Shot bounce from the Panther, but not the Yak Panzer. Penetrating there again. KV2 down to half field. Panther moves in there. Steel punching what they can here. Anti-tank grenade damage to the engine. Vegetable on the Panther. Yak Panzer not pursuing there against the KV2. Veggie 2 for the KV2. Panther falls back. Steel punch is in here. The conscript got the Issue 5 moving. T-34 actually. And the Issue 5. Panther's going to go down here. Not sure why didn't support the Yak Panzer. Conscript's wiped, but the Panther's out. Where's the Panther 4? It's moving up. He's going to try and flank here. Good move, but need to do something in the mortar there as well. Yak Panzer actually flanked here. He's moved it too far ahead there. Allowed his opponent to flank it there for the corner. Not good. Panther 4 flanks in return. Pack 43 trying to support here. Quite not within range. He should have tried to bait them into the Pack 43's range, so they're not trying to get away from it. Need to pull the Panzer one closer there. Not good handling of the Jagdpanzer in this stress situation. Good hit there. Eventually found the Jagdpanzer and ace, but gets knocked out there by the H-25. H-25 all of a sudden moves within range of the pack for the free, I think. Almost. Panzer 4 moving in, but instead of getting behind, it gets in front of it.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
And then moves it too close, I think. No. No, just without range again. You might lose to the Panzer 4 though. Oh dear. And the Panzer 4 is down as well. Huge loss there from Bezelton. In that regard, again, I can't help but feel that pack for while it did do something ultimately, the positioning was way too defensive and not really useful enough. Still, 16 versus 88, 87, he's sort of got the bleed back on his opponent, but needs to get out more armor soon, and he needs more infantry as well.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Meanwhile, Treaser's pulling back a lot of his resources, he's getting out more troops as well, though this could easily end up in the favour of basically trying to be just, doesn't muck up. He would actually try laying down flank emplacements now, just hold any infantry approaches. At least, however, briefly, MD-34 in the centre here, holding up the Russians. Man's going down there to defend. Pulling up behind the wreckage of the Panther there to defend against the conscripts. Veteran 4, almost 55. These hardened men quickly turn back the Russian assault here. And a concussive grenade. Alright, need some close in. Murder the bastards. Veterans 1 on the howitzer. Get usually they're fine, KV2 moving in. Going there for the point there. MD-34 needs to retreat. This is, if one to really finish, you just lay down a bunker instead, for example. I think would have benefited Bezelton quite a bit. They freed up the machine gun for other, meshes. And the T-34 on the way, they got howitzer firing.
The enemy has cut off a sector.
Trying to catch the Katyusha again. Push for the south there, folks moving in there. Maximum opening up. Mortar could lay down the smoke screen though. Could lay down the smoke screen with a mortar here, cover the southern victory point. Prevent his opponent from, suppressing his men. Is he doing it? Yes, he's smoking. He's laying down a smoke screen. 16 versus 59. Centre victory point almost secured up north there. Heavy fighting as well there. 56 volts going to be shown to stretch to the maximum limit here. Well, the smoke rounds coming rather late there. There we go.
Ready for combat.
Another T-34 out there for Treaser. Almost got the northern victory point, almost. KV2, they almost got the forces. They're getting incendiary grenade on the maximum, using the smoke to get close enough to burn them. 56 versus 16. Northern victory point there secured. And he wipes the Fultz Grenadier. Had been a bit faster to get off the smoke. That might have been slightly different, but probably not a lot. More to watch really with the KB2. Bezelton's forces are falling apart here, and ultimately again the pack for the fleet is turning out to be a bit of a mixed blessing really. And just a huge store of resources was ultimately just a match because he plays it too far behind. Had it been a more fought position, he could have covered more actively as well. 3 points left here, but it's gonna be enough. It's too late here, it's too late. GG. And a victory here for the 27th Tank Corps versus Bezelton. Victory here again. He had a nice against starting strategy. The problem was, A, he didn't utilize his doctrine well enough. He was too passive at times, and could have just used his abilities more like the booby traps more, and also trying to flank more. And so the mortar can be a great supporting offensive with its smoke screens. So there are definitely some issues there with Bezelton. Treaser, I think, actually handled this admirably. Despite a good start from Bezelton, even had an awkward start, they turned this around. Treaser was able to still stick to a strategy which you can get out of Russia, a tank using just supply drops and a fuel cache. That way making up for the loss of fuel, that way pushing at his opponent actually. So that's actually a pretty sharp move there from Treaser, slowly but surely turning the game around from a rough start to a much stronger start there, punishing Bezelton for his inactivity and other mistakes there. And again also, pack for the fleet and hard at the same time I think is just not a very good idea overall. Had he gone for just one of them, and I definitely think the pack for the fleet should have been dropped, he might be able to do something a bit more with his resources as well. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, one, subscribe, tell a friend, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay or provide some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dancing. Cheers. Thank you all for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow for another exciting episode. Cheers.